All right, it's good now. All right, we're here. All right. If you're watching this live or on the replay, I'm here with Alex. I have worked with him for what, since November? I would say about like what,
Yeah,
7, 8 months at this point.
yeah,
And he's been able to see great progress in the Prime method. He's lost about 40 pounds while still consuming alcohol a few times a week, still going out to eat and enjoying himself. And I wanted to have him on here to tell his story because he could do that better than I can. So, Alex, I appreciate you hopping on with me. Why don't you start by introducing yourself in terms of like your background, what your lifestyle is like? Because I know you got the businesses and work,
yeah,
and the family as well.
yeah. Yeah, my name's Alejandro. I from Chicago, and right now been working in my real estate business for the past 2 years and started from that multiple ventures. I'm a special education teacher, so I work from 7 to 2 p.m. and then from 2 p.m. to 5 or 6, I'm working on my business, just last taking care of the kids. I have two girls. I'm work ministry, so meaning like I work in the community for a church. I handle about 70 teachers and work with them how to work with kids with disabilities. And I work with 250 kids. I consult in multiple areas of of different Sunday school teaching. So like 7 days a week I'm working. Uh that's relatively it. I think my lifestyle is crazy.
Yeah, you're spread pretty thin, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's something a lot of people out there can relate to. So where would you say that you're at with your fitness before we started, and like what led you down this path? Because I know like before we linked up officially, you had been on a fitness path before.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think fitness has and me being an athlete has been part of my life, majority of my life, all of my life, and played baseball, played football, played soccer, you know. I've done all those sports, and I think there was a point in my life where I was doing about like 6 hours of workouts where rock, like including weightlifting, rock climbing, swimming, yoga, and then taking another yoga class during college is like, living the single life of like just of me and my wife. So as you feel like you have a lot of time in your hands. But my lifestyle has always been like 100% of like workout and eating clean, and then I'll gain the weight back. So I think that was has been the cycle for a while. And then now that I'm way older, right? 34 years old, I think after 25, you lose a percent of protein of muscle fat a year, something like that. And then your metabolism is different. So my eating habits weren't changing, and I think I was going down a spiral. And my consumption that goes to that, like my consumption of alcohol was like a big thing. Was like literally, I think I was tracking it. It was like 80 drinks a month, and
Mhm.
and that's relatively easy to make for any person that's out there drinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even one like 3 times a week. Let's say if you drank 8 drinks easy, times what, 4, 3, 12, yeah. 12 times 8, yeah, 7, yeah. 12 times 8, it literally puts you at 90 something drinks a month. So
Mhm.
it's an easy, and it was a downward spiral because now I jumped up to my highest I've ever been, 274, 270. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and I wouldn't, nobody technically really stopped me because my friends were on the same path. I think we were all doing that. So I think it also came down to my community. Or it wasn't like it's pretty normalized, the drinking aspect and the eating, and I think that's we're all me and my friends were like going there,
Yeah.
uh gaining weight together. It's crazy.
Yeah, so you feel like in the settings you were around, like that was just normalized? Like
Yeah,
how so? I know
yeah,
we've had like events you had to work through. It's like something we talked about before this call, oh, when I wasn't recording was, man, I feel like when it comes to the alcohol and like cutting it out for your fitness journey, I feel like the simple solution is to just don't go to these events. Don't put yourself in these spaces
yeah,
where that's the thing. But I'm like, yo, if you work in real estate or your family gatherings there's always alcohol involved. You got to go to weddings and bachelor parties and
Correct.
Vegas trips. Like I feel like stuff you and I have dealt with. I think
Mhm.
we've got to learn how to navigate those situations. And I think that's the harder thing to do versus just cutting it out all completely and then missing everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So,
And
well,
sorry, that's one of the things I'm
no, go
grateful.
ahead.
No, that's one of the things I'm grateful working with you was that there was a reasonable way to approach it. Like it wasn't like, no, you got to cut it off. Like, okay, let's this is a lifestyle change, so let's see you do life and let's see where we can make changes to accommodate that. And I think you were really good at like, okay, you're going drinking, let's pay attention to how much eating you're doing, right?
Mhm.
Like, okay, and then realizing like crap, like I'm having 10 homemade old fashions type of thing,
Yeah.
and it's like well, relatively it would have been like five, but the pours at home is different, you know,
Mhm.
and that's crazy. It's like relatively I would have had like 10 and then the thing is like my tolerance has grown to a peak of like not being affected by alcohol, and I'm like I need more, and then I think the biggest learn key was you told me was that if you're drinking, your body has to compensate that with how much you're eating. So the protein and the carbs that you're eating is literally turns into fat. Like it's not you lose your progress there. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
but it wasn't always like you're talking down to me. I'm like, oh, you did bad. Like,
No,
no,
no.
like let's make some good progress together and make some
Yeah.
changes. And I think for me, I realized it for myself, like, oh yeah, I think we just gotta cut it off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like an improvement is better than a drastic change. And I think, maybe with the way you've done things in the past, I heard you say like you were 0 to 100 with it. So yeah, that all makes sense. And it's like, um, you, I heard you say you were going like hard in the gym all the time, but it's almost like the alcohol was canceling out the progress you could have made. So, I
Correct.
mean, what are some other big mistakes you feel like you've made in your fitness journey, like prior to us getting started, or like maybe things that didn't work?
Yeah, I think it was that. Like the food, it was from 0 to 100. The alcohol was like I'll do like the 75-day hard or 30-day toxic cleanse or whatever, smoothie, and then the food aspect too. Um, or like I would even try like not to go out. But then that would defeat the purpose of like me living life and knowing and learning how to say no. Um, the workouts was like not going from 0 to 100, progressive, focusing on things that like just get to the gym and like let's implement some good habits um for you, right? It doesn't have to be like a whole 2 3 hour workout. It could just be like 30 minutes, but like you're intentional with your workout. It doesn't have to be like you're lifting super heavy um, for a competition, but it was like, okay, let's just focus on like baby steps. And I think that was like the biggest thing for me that I'm pretty grateful working with you.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, you put in the work, bro. And that's interesting too because you're no stranger to fitness. Like you said, you're a former athlete.
Yeah.
You've done this before. I remember, like during college and after college, you had the time to dedicate
Um,
all these workouts to
mhm.
like whether it be cardio, working out in the gym, taking a class. Like you had all this time to be active. So you're not a stranger to fitness. And even like prior to us working together, I know you were kind of like up and down with it or on and off with it. Like you said, going 0 to 100, back to zero. So you're no stranger to fitness. What do you feel like was different this time around in terms of, I guess, your commitment to the process and just like how things have gone?
Yeah, I think it was the compounding. I think we talked about that, like the compounding effect, like the snowball effect of like, okay, let's just add one thing this week, 1% better. Let's just get 1% better a day. And
Yeah.
I, before you knew it, half year in, 6 months, I'm like, wow, like I've made so much progress. Um, with a lot of like grace where I didn't make it to the workout every like I didn't complete my workouts every week, like every week. There was some days where I missed, or I didn't
Mm.
complete my diet or calories. Um, I went over, I went way too under. It was like it's knowing that like I'm really confident and competent, confident mainly, and knowing of like wherever I'm going now, whatever event I'm going to, like I hosted 4th of July. I didn't drink. I watched what I ate. And I didn't feel like I was left out. I even had a churro. Like I didn't have to like be a weirdo where I'm just eating salmon every day and
Yeah.
chicken breast,
Yeah, you're in
and
the corner with your little meal prep
yeah,
Tupperware, like
yeah,
while
like
everyone's
it's
having
like
fun.
make
Nah,
you, but also that makes
yeah.
everybody uncomfortable too, like being that weirdo in the party, of like, oh, I'm just eating my meal prep while everybody's having a feast. It's
Mhm,
like it's a lifestyle, so like I have to like, yeah, I can eat what everybody's eating, but like in moderation and
mhm.
like knowing what keeps my body full. Like, okay, I need more fiber, soluble and unsoluble fiber, like those stuff that we went over of like drink more water, say no to alcohol, and have a good time. Like, but it took me a while to get there. And then
Yeah,
having you in my corner to be like, reflect that, and then seeing you how you do it with your lifestyle and
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think I could be that too, like I feel like I'm very confident now in the spaces that I'm in.
Right. So yeah, the main thing I'm hearing is the compound effect of like, there's 20 things that would all help us improve our health if we just focus on it, but we can't do them all at once, or we're going to be doing them with half-assed effort. So it's like
Right.
picking like the one improvement per week to like really get on, and then eventually you get to a point where you've mastered that and you've made it a habit, and then you can focus on something else. And all
Yeah.
these things compounded lead to where we're at now, where it feels like it's something sustainable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So something interesting you said about the alcohol. Like I know we're at a point now where you pretty much cut it out for the foreseeable, which is, by the way, something I didn't even tell you to do. It's a
No.
choice you made on your own.
Mhm.
But backing up before that was the case, you've been able to lose 40 pounds while drinking a few times a week in this past like 6, 7 months. I think people would be curious about like how you actually went about that. Like, what did that actually look like for you? Because I think people hold this belief that you can't do both.
Yeah,
Not
no,
to say what's optimal. Like, yeah, obviously, if you want the best
yeah,
results, you should probably cut it out. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think there's a world where like we can kind of do both. Well,
No,
I know
no,
there's a world we can do both. We did
100%.
it.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. I think the thing is that I made those healthy habits, those small tweaks of like first, I think what you helped me do, which was let's just track what you're eating. And then let's look at what we can actually substitute with your lifestyle. And let's what we can implement. And then over time, let's see what actually affects your body, which was the biggest one that I told you. I've learned that me eating Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop, high saturated fats will give me migraines the next day. And my migraines were like because of football and all this stuff, like my migraines will like knock me out and I wouldn't be able to work out. Um, Now I'm consistently going to the gym. I got a gym that's just taking care of my kids, babysitting while I work out. I'm taking my father-in-law with me, who's in the same place, who struggles with alcohol, but like is in a different health journey, and I'm holding him accountable. Um, so it's like making those small changes over time has been like a game changer. Like food, lifestyle, really lifestyle. Like, okay, let's look at your Mexican um foods and see what we can do to eat so that we can like just eat, like implement it. And just tracking your food. I think having that habit in the beginning was like weighing the food, but then now it's like I already know what I'm have to eat because it's already in my head. And then the next one was the oil of like measuring how much olive oil. But it wasn't like if I would have done it everything in the beginning, I would have been overwhelmed. Like, nah, I quit. And I think also
Yeah.
with exercising, it started with like light weights and just getting in the gym and then increasing the reps, increasing the weight. Um, it's like those tweaks that we would go over together was like a huge game changer for me. Um,
Mhm.
and I think what you told me was that I was able to notice that I was able to cut off alcohol on my own. I think I was like, okay, I think I don't need it anymore because like
Mhm.
I'm literally would what drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just 2 days, but then it'll take me 5 days to recover. But then those 5 days, you know, I would feel foggy. I would still have to try to work out, and then I'll get a migraine, and then again it'll hit me. I'll drink again on a Thursdays, or a Taco Tuesday, or
Yeah.
always a reason why we had to drink, right? Me and my friends or family, there's always a reason. But like, if I want to be in a place where I want to be health wise, I had to make that decision. Like, okay, like let me just drink. Yeah, I'll drink one day, but like just not today. Or like this,
Yeah.
my health is important. Like, yeah, I'll drink maybe Christmas, maybe, or Thanksgiving, or once a
There
quarter.
has to be a reason. Yeah.
Has to be a reason, but like there's always a reason. Like there's a St. Patty's. Like I'm not even freaking Irish. There was like I didn't
You in
have.
Chicago though.
I'm in Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's like nah. It's like I think the not to get into like bashing other people that do it. But I think
Yeah.
for health wise, it's like it wasn't gonna be sustainable for me. Like, and
Yeah.
I saw the pattern. I'm like, okay, I,
Yeah. Yeah. So eventually you got to a point where you didn't see the risk reward being worth it. And I think
yeah,
that's a byproduct of you staying consistent with like the the health habits that got you your initial results and then kind of being like, okay, I saw what I could get away with. Now it's about like let's see how far we can take it. So I think
yeah,
there was a mental shift there. But also what stands out is like I guess the reason you were still able to drink alcohol in the beginning and see like a lot of progress up to this point, even while still doing that, is because you were non-negotiable about getting better on like if this is a constant you're getting better at the other habits and adding things to
yes,
it. So you're seeing progress. But
yeah,
also, I wouldn't even say it was staying constant because another thing you did that you didn't mention was I know you were counting how many drinks you had per month in an app.
oh
Well,
yeah,
which you mentioned, but
yeah,
but you didn't mention that I think you were gradually doing less every month.
yeah,
So
yeah,
say you start at 80, then you go to 60, then you go to 40. Like
yeah,
it was yes, it was a constant that you were drinking alcohol up to this point, but it wasn't a constant of how much. So I think you
yes,
improved over time, month to
yeah.
month, and that's going to have a compound effect too. So in both directions.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the goals you gave me before I even decided to quit. Was like, okay, let's just keep it to 30 drinks. 30 drinks is more
Yeah,
than enough for me.
not cut it out, just 30. Yeah,
Let's
like
just do 30 because I was at 80. I'm like, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. But then it got to the point I'm like, man, like now I'm like actually counting my drinking, and that's how much I'm drinking. I'm like, man, like where should I be if I actually stayed a year without drinking? And like my health wise, where would it be? Like,
right.
and I just had champagne yesterday. We're kind of going through a family thing. My nephew chemo has leukemia. He just finished steroids. We
Yeah,
had to celebrate. Like I
right.
had champagne. I didn't feel bad. It was like a month and a half of no drinking, but it's not like I just jumped off the wagon and started drinking like heavily. But it was like
Yeah,
celebration, and I feel pretty confident. I'm like, okay, this is something that I can drink for. But other than that, I think it's like it's not worth it. I mean, now I'm gonna go to Vegas this weekend, and I think it's like the second trip that I've gone to where I'm not gonna be drinking. And I'm like, and that's okay. And I'm going with the family. It comes down to that too. Like my girls, as an example, to a 5-year old and a 3-year old, what example I'm giving them with they're always having seen dad with a beer in his hand. Subconsciously, that also is an effect.
right, right. So yeah, it's just you're getting to a point where it's like, yeah, it's not worth it. I might as well cut it out. And it's funny because you did that on your own. It's like I didn't tell you had to do that. It was just like the goal of like, hey, let's just do a little bit less. Let's just not make it so overwhelming. Again, that compound effect. But eventually, you got to a point where it's like, yeah, I don't even need this, bro. Like I can still have a good time. Like, and I love that you're at a point now where you can have one and just keep it at one. Because like
Yeah.
before, maybe like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be in the
No,
same boat, man.
if I have
Like
one, dude, I'll fit.
yeah,
Just give me the whole bottle.
0 to 100, 100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
zero
it's
to
just like
100.
that mindset.
Yeah.
Being like that with everything. So I know I can relate to that personally, and a lot of people out there probably can too. So no, I love that. I appreciate the reflection there. So I guess in terms of results, where would you say you're at now? Like physically, like mentally?
Physically, I sleep better. Um, I'm stronger, lost 40 pounds. I'm not winded. I'm not every time like I would talk, sit down next to my wife and she'll hear me breathing, you know. I have sleep apnea, so like sleep being having what is it, struggling with sleep apnea, still felt like I still couldn't get the full night's rest. Also, consequences of alcohol will disrupt your REM sleep. Uh, my food, you know, the food that I would eat destroyed the way how I functioned everyday life, high saturated fats, well, like pizza, love deep dish pizza, but like knowing how much I'm gonna eat, I eat that like 2, 3 times a week was ridiculous. But like
You're right.
I can still have it, you know, but in moderation,
In
right?
moderation.
In
Yeah.
moderation, but it's like also knowing how much and how much I'm gonna push myself to do that, like is it even worth it?
Right. I like what you said earlier. You were like, everything's permissible. Well, before we
Yeah.
even started
Oh
recording, you
yeah.
were like, everything's permissible, but not everything's beneficial. I think was
Yeah.
the quote.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
It's powerful.
Yes,
Yeah.
from St. Paul. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're allowed to do everything you want to do, right? We have the free will to do it, but like there's consequences, you know? And
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, even for those people that are like at single digit body fats, I think we're talking about too. My goal isn't that either, having 2, 3, 5% body fat, because even then that's not healthy, you know? It's
Yeah.
like I want to be in a place where I just want to enjoy the fruits of my labor, I don't want to worry, or I don't want to have my
Yeah.
family worry that like I'm gonna have a heart attack one day because of my cycle, of the way how I'm eating and the way I'm drinking. It's like I want to enjoy the my family around me for like a long time.
Yeah. And so I guess what else are you working towards in the future, man, in terms of your
Uh,
goals? Anything exciting?
yeah, I
Because I
think
like that one. I like that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the biggest one is that I'm buying myself suits to in Thailand or in Vietnam or whatever, custom made suits. Um, Go over here in the US, it'll cost me like 25 grand. Over there is like 1,500.
Hmm.
It's like it would be nice to like wear something where I'm confident in. And since I'm in the real estate realm and professional realm, I want to look good and feel good and hold myself accountable to that. I think the main goal will and always will be just to be healthy, be able to like be strong and be not be I've never really felt like subconscious in a way of like my weight at the beach, whatever. I'm like, whatever. But it's like I just want to be like I just want to be healthy. Like I just want to be able to carry the wagon without like and my daughters without ever feeling like I'm gonna pass out, you know?
Right.
It's like and to be productive. Like having migraines suck, but like because I'm drinking a lot or because I'm eating high saturated fats, I can control those things. And that takes away the time for my family, takes away time for the business. And a lot of people depend on me in different aspects of the community. So I'm like, if people will and always someday will always look up to you, you have to hold yourself accountable to that because people are going to start copying your habits one day
Hmm.
or because if the people that look up to you are going to either directly or indirectly start copying your healthy habits or unhealthy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's layered. It's like I know you have the shorter term motivation of like fitting into the suits and getting the custom made stuff. And we were talking before we started recording. It's like, yeah, we got to throw out the old clothes because like once you invest that money in the
Yeah.
suits, like we want to stay there, make sure it looks good, and just like, like you said, that's an extra layer of accountability. But
Yeah.
the second layer is more long term. It's just being an example for the people around you and just like leading a life that you're proud of.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what were some of the biggest things you've learned, like biggest lessons in terms of like fitness or yourself, things you learned about yourself in general, just going down this path?
I think it was everything was a compound effect of like it was everything from like health,
Yeah.
from like the lifestyle. I think the biggest one people hear it a lot, like having a lifestyle change of like you were able to provide that support of like be able to provide that reflective aspect of like, okay, let's see how much you're eating, let's see what you're eating, and let's see how you're working out and how we can make improvements in each of those areas slowly and keep it from short-term memory to the long-term memory. Short-term muscle memory to like long-term muscle memory. Where like now it's like I don't even have to think about it. And I think that's when people see that and it's daunting of how much work they have to put in, I think
Right.
people psych themselves out.
Right.
You're psyching yourself out, dude. Like just focus on one thing every
Mm.
day, or even that one thing a week. Let that be your homework. And I think that's when we were talk and like, okay, yeah, you messed up here, but let's whatever, move on. Let's see what we can fix. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
focus on this. Um, it wasn't overwhelming. Maybe overwhelming for me at first because I was just like implementing. It was kind of scary, but like now having you as a coach to be able to hold my hand in those areas, and you're a professional at it, of like, okay, I know what this guy's he knows what he's talking about, and so it's like
Yeah.
I was able to see that, and then seeing those scale go down at the same time, it was a reassurance that I was going in the right direction, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's the big I think the big theme of today, just like our conversation and just your journey in general was like is the compound effect. Seemingly inconsequential decisions can add up to a big outcome over time in either direction, both good and both bad. Or it's just all about trajectory and making the small decisions, not this like drastic thing. And I think, when you're doing the wrong things, that's what's scary. Like you just wake up one day and it's like, yeah, you're 30 pounds heavier, your shirts don't fit, but it's like, damn, I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like wasn't enough to notice it. And then the same is also true. It's like not exciting. Sometimes it's boring work, but it's like it's exciting to lose 30 pounds in a month and talk about it or do 75
Yeah.
hard, but it's like it's really just a little thing. So I mean that's the theme for what you're saying. But yeah, I think everything's interesting what you're saying. Like that's we talked about this before we started recording, but it's like, yeah, if I'd like thrown the book at you out off rip, just giving you all this information, if you had known what the next 50 steps looked like, if you'd known what because the problems you're dealing with now are different from the ones you deal with in a year, 2 years, 3 years, right? Or even from the beginning. If that had all been laid out and presented to you in the front, you might have psyched yourself out. It's
Yeah.
like
No,
that
no,
sounds good. I think
100%.
it's good that you only knew the next right step and just
Yeah.
committed to the process and
Yeah, yeah. And I think,
took it as it came.
yeah, I don't, and then that's why I got you for. Like, it's your job to help me think about that. Like, right? Like, you're doing the heavy lifting for me. Like the thinking, the planning, the workouts, you were able to give me all that. And
Yeah,
and what and I think it's one less thing you have to think about. It's like a
yeah.
one more thing you can do for yourself. You
Free up
know,
your bandwidth. Yeah,
yeah, my bandwidth was able to like, okay, I can do this just for the week. I'm like, okay, and now
yeah,
I'm like, now it's permanent. Now it's like alcohol, no problem. I feel
yeah,
confident because sometimes I would go a month, 2 months without drinking, but then
yeah. And then
it was like an itch of like, when I go back, I'm gonna go back hard, you know?
yeah, yeah. Right. Now it's different this time around.
Now it's different. Like,
Yeah,
I don't feel that. Like, I feel like competent. I feel great. I don't have that missing FOMO that I'm missing out. Like, I just feel it feels like just every other day, you know?
yeah, yeah. It's just like every other day. That's a healthier place to be versus like you're holding out as a means to an end.
Yes.
It's yeah. I mean, dude, you're doing the heavy lifting. I mean,
Yeah.
my job is just to make that a little bit easier, right? Like,
Yeah.
uh, you just having kids, having a full time job, multiple businesses, and just all that going on in your personal life, and then also being involved in the community and the church. It's like, yeah, I mean, just the fact you're able to devote the time and effort to it is crazy. Like, it's just about being able to just being able to stay focused on that. So, I appreciate your time, Alex. Do you have any I guess piece of advice for someone who was in your shoes and is looking to get in shape?
I would say get Dallas as a coach. I would say that the biggest one is that you do need a coach, honestly. Like, I think everybody needs one. Um, it comes down to that. If Tiger Woods, if all the greats have one, like we're not no different. And I think what I was talking to you about, we're relational beings, and you having someone to hold you accountable, uh, is a game changer and knows what they're doing and is professional and that dedicates their life to do and wants to help you achieve those goals. I think it's like a no-brainer. Dallas will
Mm.
definitely take you from point A to point B.
Mm. All right, appreciate appreciate your time for today, Alex. I know you got to jump. Um, No, I think we got a lot of value out of everything you're saying, bro. I'm gonna let
Yeah,
you get to it. Thank you
I
for your
appreciate
time.
it. Thanks, Dallas. I'll
All
talk
right,
to you
brother.
later,
All right,
brother.
brother. All right, bro. Peace.
Peace out, man.